is a victory that we can actually talk about that is going to have legs. Dan Lennington from Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is standing by to talk about a minority business development agency program that the Biden administration had that said, no white people. Sorry, no white people. So what happened, Dan?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, Vicki. This actually is the newest federal agency. We got lots of federal agencies out there, FBI, Department of Transportation, Department of State. Well, they created one in 2021 called the Minority Business Development Agency. It had been around under other administrations under different names for about 55 years now. And the Biden administration said that this was the cornerstone of the equity agenda. And they decided that they were going to help businesses, but not all businesses. Only certain businesses that were part of certain racial groups. So, like, if you're white, they wouldn't help you. If your grandparents were from, say, Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan, they wouldn't help you. If your parents were from Brazil, they wouldn't help you. They created all these racial categories and said, we're only going to help certain groups with their businesses. And what you could get from this agency was quite a lot. You could get grants, you could get cash, you could get loans, you could get access to other programs, you could get federal government contracts, all sorts of goodies to help you grow your business, but not if you were white. And so we sued on behalf of 3 businesses, an architecture firm from Wisconsin, a health center from Texas, and then we also sued on behalf of a small company in Florida. And we said, look, our clients go to the website and says, yeah, I want help with my small business. And the website says you got to check a box. Are you black, African American, you're Asian, you're Native American, you're Hispanic? And because our clients couldn't check any of these boxes, we were shut out of the program. We couldn't get any services. And so we sued in federal court, and yesterday we won. Huge victory, a nationwide injunction against the Biden administration prohibiting them from enforcing any of these racial qualifications on any American small business with regard to services provided by this federal agency. So it's a huge, huge victory. It applies nationwide, and it's permanent.
And the logic, right? Here's on the Minority Business Development Agency, the injunction. But the logic of the decision should spread throughout the federal agencies because the equity agenda is across all federal agencies. It's everywhere. Yeah. The equity agenda, by the way, is driving this insane DEI scorecard for radio stations and television stations. The equity agenda is ubiquitous. So I'm sure they're not going to look at it this way, but these court decisions are what you build on when you're Donald Trump or you're a new Congress and you say this stuff's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we started this back in 2021 with our Equality for All agenda. We got injunctions against the Farmer Loan Forgiveness Program, which was only for black farmers. We got injunction against the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, which was a $28.6 billion program to give COVID relief to only certain restaurants. We got those 2 court decisions. We had other victories against the Biden administration and private companies, by the way. And now we're building with this one. So, yes, we have to build and keep the momentum going. There are lots of other targets out there. We've got a list of dozens of federal agencies that have similar programs. We're going to keep pushing this because, if there is a new Republican president administration, they're going to need a roadmap on how to dismantle this because it's gotten into every corner of government. Just here in Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin spends $200 million a year on this diversity business program that gives money just to businesses based on race. People didn't know that $200 million of Wisconsin tax dollars are going to this program every single year. Nobody talks about it.
Well, guess what? Tell me about this decision, Minority Business Development Agency. That sounds like it has a direct impact on the diversity development program in Wisconsin.
Yes, it does. And we're it's still going on at University of Wisconsin. We've got issues with them. We are just we've got the football. we're running down as fast as we can before we get tackled. That's really our motto right now.
Yeah, you need more players, though. You need more lawyers. You need more litigants. There needs to be, a Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty in every single state. And that's something that would be very, very helpful. That's something, if you're out there and you make substantial contributions to, political causes or campaigns or whatever, I mean, hello, you could seed, an effective defense against this stuff that could eventually become an effective offense to keep, on the football analogy there, Dan. We've just barely started to fight this. I mean, 2020, 2021 is when you guys really kicked the Equality Project into high gear.
Yeah, that's, and we got, it's pretty safe to say we have about 3 attorneys pretty much full time doing equality work right now. And so that's good news. I'd like to have another attorney. And the way that we hire attorneys is that we get more funding from our very generous donors. So, a lot of people plow money into political campaigns or other things. I can tell you one way to get the return on your investment if you like conservative causes is to donate to Will.
Amen. You're right.
So we can hire lawyers and take more cases to court.
Yeah, one of the reasons why, and I had Tammy Fournier on the program yesterday, but for her agreeing to be a litigant, you would see no success whatsoever on behalf of parents' rights against teachers and administrators who want to trans kids against the approval of parents, want to, affect their health outcomes. That was all Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. So again, we're behind, obviously, because I don't think anybody recognized how fast this was going to be spread and insinuated into corporate HR departments, all levels of government, local government. I mean, Dan, I was surprised, and I'm pretty dark and conspiratorial, but it even shocked me.
Yeah, it's all over. If you've got, your city, your county, they're doing this no matter where you are.
You have to fight it, though.
Your university, your technical college. I'll tell you, apart from supporting Will, what it really takes, number one, are clients who are willing to put their name on a lawsuit. And that is, it's a big decision, and we've talked to a lot of people who want us to do and they're afraid. And I don't discount that at all. But it takes a certain type of bravery about someone who's willing to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to take this anymore. And I'll tell you, there are businesses out there. There are people who are listening right now who have small businesses, and they're not getting things that they could be getting. They're not getting contracts. They're not getting purchase orders because of the color of their skin. And I'll tell you right now, they can call us and I'll talk them through it. And we can help a lot of people, but it does take a lot of courage and a lot of people to stand up and say, we're going to throw the penalty flag on this because it's not right.
Yeah, it can't be. You can't wait around for somebody else to fight it all the time. You're right. Litigants are important. They're the second most important, right? First, you need talented lawyers, and you need enough money to pay the talented lawyers. So again, to the donor class out there, really good use for your dollar is Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. Then you need people to be bold enough and brave enough to say, hey, I'm willing to sue. And this is parents whose children are being put through the ringer on various types of DEI determined policy. I mean, Dan, my fantasy is for you to be able to go after DPI generally. But until people start, sharing that information in ways that allow you to litigate, it's hard. It gets hard you can't just fight it on your own. You can't just say, you're doing something wrong, we're going to sue you. I wish it did work that way, but it doesn't.
And we do. We need information. Some people may not be willing to sue, but they're able to point us in the right direction. That helps tremendously. We get a lot of anonymous tips from people who go to our website and tell us about things they've heard, things they've seen. I've just yesterday heard a story about several teachers that resigned from a school district because they were ordered to discipline students differently based on race. That's something we heard anonymously. We're going to check it out, file public records request, see if it's true. But that's going on in our schools right now. And we know that we've heard that from lots of people that the school discipline policies are applied
Yes.
disproportionately based
Yeah.
on race. And that's really scary. Somebody's going to get hurt. Some kid's going to end up in the hospital because a teacher refused to discipline a bad actor in a school.
Yeah, by the way, teachers are going to end up getting hurt as well. But that's across. I mean, I've heard that as well. Credible claims that is going on in Wisconsin schools. Discipline, different levels of discipline based on race. You need someone to reach out. will-law.org is the website. You can submit just a request, and you can submit tips. There's an easy-to-use contact page there. And then something else you're really great at, and that's open records requests. So the records, if right now you're like, I think this is going on, but I'm not sure, I got this email. You guys have a team that is master of open records requests. So again, congrats on this. This is going to have legs. It may not seem like it does in the beginning here, but because this was a logic that can apply to all equity decisions by the Biden administration throughout the federal agencies, this one will have legs. I think it's huge. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. We'll keep working on it.
Again, it's will-law.org, will-law.org, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, and Dan Lennington. Thank you for joining me on the Middleton Ford Hotline. We will be right back.